Hey guys, I'm Daisho, and I'm here bringing you some more Magic. Today I'm actually playing Magic the Gathering Arena, which for those of you who don't know is Magic's new answer to Hearthstone, and this is basically their new digital platform updated from Magic the Gathering Online, which is basically a 15-year-old platform. This one's a brand new one. It's still in beta, but it's pretty easy to get codes. I know they just released a whole bunch of beta codes recently, so definitely try and get your hands on one if you can. And you can draft on this. It's a little bit different than drafting on Magic Online because you're not actually drafting against live people. It's still an 8-person pod, but you're drafting against computers. You don't actually see what decks they build, but I haven't found it to be too bad so far, so I'm going to keep on going. And then, of course, you play some matches. And right now I'm doing a competitive draft, which means that we're going to play best 2 out of 3, like you do on Magic Online, but they also have a quick draft mode where you just play one game. And then you basically, it's sort of like Hearthstone's Arena, where you play until you get to a certain number of losses. So for this format, you can get 5 wins, and that's before you get 2 losses. So it ends up being a pretty nice balance where you get, if you have a bad round where you just mulligan to 5 both games or something like that, then you're not out of it. And 5 wins isn't something that's like crazy hard to get. So let's just dive right in and do another M19 draft. Okay, this is actually a really great pack, and the one thing that's interesting is that I can take all the time in the world that I want on here, so I know some of you are going to hate me for that, and some of you are going to be happier, but I think this is a really, really amazing pack. So the best card is going to be Banefire. Banefire is pretty much the best card in any pack that it's ever in. It's better in Sealed than it is in Draft, but this is just such a really great card. I think I actually played it in one of my videos already. I think it was in my Sealed deck, actually. But basically, you can just use it as removal when you need to. You can use it to kill your opponent, to finish them off. It works great in a ramp deck where you can end up doing 8-9 damage with it. It's great in a control deck where you can just sort of finish the game off with it, but it really is perfect. It's going to be the card that I take. But there's some really premium uncommons in this pack, too, with Herald of Faith. I actually haven't played too much with this card, but I did just get beaten by it in the last round that I played. I actually had an answer in Luminous Bonds, but they canceled it, so that was pretty sad. I was greedy, and I waited until I had my Satyr Enchanter to play it, and then they were able to untap and cancel it. Anyway, Vampire Sovereign is also a card that is almost always the best card in its own pack. It just gets you so much value the turn it comes out, and then after that it's a 3/4 flyer for 5, which is just really good value anyway, so I do like that card. Then there's Angel of the Dawn, which a lot of people have as one of the top 2 white commons, and I think that it is also really good. Whenever you see it hit the battlefield, it always has a big impact. And then just being a 3/3 flyer, I mean, I talked about how a 3/4 flyer is good. 3/3 flyer is only 1 step behind, and it's also pretty good. Past that, there's some more playables in like Skymarch Bloodletter, Dwindle, Aviation Pioneer, Gallant Cavalry, so definitely a really strong pack, but pretty easy Banefire for me. Okay, this pack has some good cards in it too. So the previous computer, or drafter, took a rare out of the pack and left me with some good leftovers. So there's Gravedigger, which is probably the best card in the pack. Just always good value. Arcane Encyclopedia, which is better in Sealed because you have a little bit more time, but is also still pretty good, and I've had a lot of fun playing that card. Satyr Enchanter is nice if you're in the green-white deck. I wouldn't take a gold card this early, though, especially because I didn't have... Maybe if it was like the Enigma Drake or something like that, the red-blue gold card, then I would have taken it this early, but I wouldn't want to take just an off-color gold card because you never can really count on playing those, on playing that color. Then the best commons in the pack are going to be Shock and Rabid Bite and Skyscanner. It's probably weird to include Skyscanner in that for a lot of people, but just the fact that this card can go into pretty much any deck makes it one of the better cards to pick early on in the draft. basically, I'm just very confident that if I draft a Sky Scanner, then it's going to end up in my deck, whereas if I take a Shock, then maybe I'm completely cut off of red, and then I don't get to play it. If I take a Rabid Bite, maybe green's not too open, or there's another color that I'd rather play because I get past a good gold card in another color. But Sky Scanner is going to make the deck regardless. It's going to be great in the Artifact deck, it's going to be great in the red-black deck, it's going to be great in any grindy black decks. I mean, there's just so much that this card does for so many different archetypes that it's always good. Whew, I really don't know which card to take in this pack. This is a tough one. This is one where I could see going in a lot of different directions. I could see just staying the course and going with Shock. I think Shock is a little bit worse in this format because a lot of people are playing 2-drops that are 1/3s if they can get their hands on them, and then some of the creatures are actually a little bit bigger in green, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I think that the premium cards to kill generally don't die to Shock, which is really the problem, but it can definitely help with tempo, so I do like that effect of it. And Gravedigger, I think, is probably the best card in the pack, so maybe I just go with the best card in the pack. And then there's also Sky Scanner, which I haven't really calibrated to figure out where I should be drafting this card. Should I be drafting it second when there are really good viable options, either in my color or in other colors? So definitely a tough pick. I think I'm going to go with Shock. Stay the course. I think that'll be my plan, but definitely could see somebody in the comment section saying, hey, that's a really bad idea, you should go with the more powerful card, or you should go with the more flexible card, but I'm going to go with Shock. That's kind of where my gut tells me to go, and yeah, that's how I'm going to roll here. This next pack has a common missing, and it has a rare missing, so not too much information there. Could have been like a Lich's Caress. It's probably a better card than anything in this pack, or even a Luminous Bonds, or potentially even a Angel of the Dawn could be a card to take out of this pack. But anyway, I'm not going to be taking a red card. Fiery Finish is a big step down from the good cards in other colors in this pack. Goblin Motivator is not really in the conversation here. I think that the decision is between Druid of the Cowl and Exclusion Mage. Druid of the Cowl being just one of the premier 2-drops in the format. I do like the red-green deck. I've had a lot of success with it. I think that it's a little bit unfortunate that its sort of theme is 4-power creatures, and that a lot of the payoffs for that are at uncommon or rare. Not even too many payoffs at uncommon. Mostly Sarkhan's Vengeance, Goreclaw. Those are the two things that you really want to be doing. Sarkhan's Vengeance, Sarkhan's Unveiling, Sarkhan's Unbroken Fury. I don't know, one of those cards, but basically the 3 and a red enchantment that if you have a 4, 5, or 6 power creature, then it deals 4 damage. If you have a 7 power creature, then it deals 4 damage to everything. So yeah, that one's a really good card. I like Exclusion Mage in general. I think just being able to have a 2/2 that adds to the board and then also returns a creature to its owner's hand is really good. It's actually very relevant that this does not bounce your own creatures. Most Mana Wars in the past, which is kind of what this card is based off of, have been able to bounce your own creatures too, and this makes it lose a lot of its versatility, especially if you end up in this blue-red deck. There are some versions of, in Magic's history, some versions of blue-red decks that are very tempo-based, and you just want to stick a threat early and then just kill them. I feel like Dominaria, that was really true. Dominaria? But in this format, I don't think that that's true. I think that you're a much more controlling deck. I could be wrong on that. I haven't played or played with or against that deck too much, so definitely don't take my word for it. But that being said, I think I'm going to go ahead and take the Exclusion Mage. I think it's a little bit better than Druid of the Cowl, but I do like Druid of the Cowl quite a bit. Also worth noting, I have 2 spells already, which goes really well with the blue-red Spells Matters deck. Okay. Some good options here. In red, there's a Spark-Tongue Dragon, which is a card that I like. It's not a card that I think is a super high pick, but I do like it. There's a Salvager of Secrets as well. as an Omen Speaker and an Encyclopedia. So between Omen Speaker and Salvager, I'm honestly not sure which one I would rather take. I think I would take Salvager. I do really like this card. It works well with stuff like Shock, so that's nice. I like Omen Speaker as just like a really good, not a really good 2-drop, but just a 2-drop that fits the plan, and just a card that you can play early or play late. That's when people talk about flexibility with cards in Magic, Omen Speaker is a perfect example. If you play it on turn 2, then it still does its thing in terms of scrying, but it's a 1/3 that can block their early creatures, and then in the late game, it's still not a dead draw because you can play it and get rid of any excess land. So I think that's really a boon for this card. So I definitely love Omen Speaker in general, and I think it works well in this format too. I'm doing a lot of talking. I need the water. And then there's also another Encyclopedia in this pack, and I think Encyclopedia is pretty good in this deck too. I'm going to go ahead and take a Salvager of Secrets here. It's not like a super powerful 4th pick, but I think it's serviceable and definitely worth playing. Out of this pack, I think it got a little bit easier. I like Snapping Drake as the best card in the pack. Maybe Cavalry Drillmaster is also a good card. Vampire Neonate's also a good card. Tormenting Voice is something that I could see myself playing in this deck. But between Tormenting Voice and Anticipate, I don't think it's really hard to pick up a 2-mana cantrip. So I'm not worried about getting enough of those, but I'm always worried about getting enough Snapping Drakes. So grab one of those right here. That's sort of what I was talking about. You can just pick up a Tormenting Voice whenever you want. I think I'm going to take Dwindle over it as well, partially for the same reason as last time. Dwindle, I think, loses value in this sort of deck because you're not actually able to add it as an instant or sorcery for your cards that care about instants and sorceries. But it at least gets rid of a big ground threat while your flyers can attack in the air and win the game. So I do still like the card, but I just don't think it's as good as it could be. Ooh, okay, so here's that 4 power or greater creature uncommon payoff. But I actually found a Gutter Snipe, which I have not played in this deck. I've played this deck 2 or 3 times already, but I have not actually managed to grab a Gutter Snipe. So this is exactly the kind of card that I want. I just want to be sort of attacking them in the air and then playing some Anticipates and Cancels and Essence Scatters. So I'm happy to see a Gutter Snipe here. Nothing great here. I mean, Centaur Courser and Gift of Paradise are actually both pretty good cards. Makes me wish that I sort of wasn't green, but I think that Viashino Pyromancer might be a decent card in this deck. This deck might turn out to be a more aggressive deck than I'm giving it credit for. Right now I've got a Shock, which can really get me ahead on tempo, get rid of their 2-drop, and allow me to attack in, and then still get ahead on board by playing either another 2-drop or playing it on turn 4 and playing a 3-drop and Shock, and really get ahead that way. Exclusion Mage is great to play once you've played a Pyromancer. And then with Gutter Snipe and Snapping Drake, just if you get in the air or get some, like this guy sort of has some evasive damage, then that might be able to close out the game. So I think that I'm going to take Viashino Pyromancer and open myself up to being a more aggressive version of this deck than I was initially thinking. This Dwindle makes me wish that I had a Tormenting Voice or 2 already, because I don't really think I'm going to be playing too many Dwindles, but I will take the second Dwindle over Tolarian Scholar. I'm definitely not interested in playing a 2/3 for 3, so yeah, that's fine. Satyr Enchanter coming back is interesting. I think that this card is really, really good, and it can definitely just take over a game, but either way, I'll take an Uncomfortable Chill. I don't want to end up playing this card, but I will if I need to. So even though I said that I wanted to be an aggressive version, I don't think I'm going to end up being a Goblin Motivator deck, but Disperse should work nicely in this deck. I think you can usually find a way to make this worth a card, and if not, you can really put them on the back foot by a cheap way to get something back to their hand and gain some tempo. I'm going to take Sure Strike over Lava Axe. I'm not too interested in Lava Axe. I'm definitely not interested in Double Cast. It's funny because it looks like a card that's tailor-made for the deck that I am playing, but I think that this card is just virtually unplayable. You just have to have another card that it goes with immediately, and it still is not very good. So, I don't know. I really don't like that card at all. This is super annoying because there is like one of the best cards in the set. Probably a lot of people just call this the best uncommon, and I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, I mean, you play this card on turn 2, and it's really hard for your opponents to come back from that, just because it's gonna end up drawing you 3 or 4 cards throughout the game, and it doesn't die to too much at a 1/3. It doesn't die to the enchantment removal and Dwindle or Luminous Bonds. It doesn't die to shock, so it's definitely a really annoying card. And then Regal Bloodlord, which is probably the best of the uncommon cycle, or one of the best of the uncommon cycle at the very least. In my actual colors, there's Disperse, Frilled Sea Serpent, and Viashino Pyromancer. I don't think that I want to take any of those this early on in the pack. Sigiled Sword of Valoron is going to be my pick. I think it really can run away with the game. There's definitely, you have to be careful with it. You can't just play it and then spend the next turn equipping it into open mana. You could sometimes fall behind that way, and if your opponent can get an aggressive start, then they can really take advantage of that. But either way, I think it's a good card. It works really well with flyers too, so yeah, I like that card quite a bit. So this is sort of what I was talking about, in that I think that the blue-red deck tends to end up more controlling than aggressive. Bone to Ash is just a really good card in this format. The format's slow enough that you can often play it, and you want to be in those matchups where you can like take turn 4 to hold up Bone to Ash and then not get punished if they don't play a creature, or be able to like play Electrify if they play something, or they just play a combat trick or a enchantment or something like that. So I think that that's sort of why the decks end up being slower. You don't want to play like Viashino Pyromancer into Exclusion Mage into pass a turn and hold up Bone to Ash. Well, I guess if that could be pretty good depending on if they played anything. But anyway, sorry. Let's just take Bone to Ash here. There's not too much else that would go really well in the deck anyway, so it's not like I'm missing out. There's Rabid Bite in green, but not in green. Take Vengeance in white. Another Satyr Enchanter. Okay, so in terms of spells, there is a Disperse and there's a Cancel, which, I mean, yeah, there's a chance that I would play a second Disperse in this deck, but I've seen how they've been going around later in this pack. And Cancel is also a card that tends to go really late. So I'm just going to grab this Onaki Ogre. It's really good with cards like Shock and Exclusion Mage, and I think that this card in general is pretty underrated. People don't necessarily love it because it tends to trade with 2-drops, but I think a lot of the 2-drops that people have gravitated toward playing more recently are 1/3s and stuff like that, or even Suspicious Bookcases in 04, so that gets through both of those. So I think this card gets through more creatures than people realize, and it hits really hard at 4 power. So I like that card a decent amount, and I would play a couple of them in this deck. So nothing too great here. I could take an Anticipate. I do need to pick up these cantrips at some point, but I think I'm going to pass for another turn to grab an Omen Speaker here. I already talked about it, so I don't need to go through my whole deal with it again, but I do like that card a lot. I might just take this 1-mana cantrip over Frilled Sea Serpent or Marauder's Axe. Yeah, I may as well. I don't have any cheap cantrips. This doesn't really do much for me, but all I have really is Gutter Snipe at this point, but hopefully I'll pick up an Enigma Drake, and then I might end up wanting to play a card like that. Divination is exactly what I'm looking for. Havoc Devils is a fine creature, but I'm not really like struggling to pick up enough creatures at this point. I'll take a second Disperse over a Marauder's Axe. Gearsmith Guardian might make the deck. I guess I have enough blue creatures that that could end up being beneficial to me. Yeah, I think I'll take a Frilled Sea Serpent. Smelt is a card that I wouldn't mind picking up, but I definitely don't need to prioritize. This is actually a really interesting pack. There's 3 cards in here that I could see making my main deck. Since I don't have any 2-mana cantrips yet, I think I'm going to go ahead and take Tormenting Voice, but Wall of Mist is just a fine blocker, and you don't want to get run over by aggro when you're playing a deck like this that tends to dirtle around a bit. But yeah, I like Tormenting Voice in general. I think it's a decent enough card, and it works well in this kind of blue-red spells deck, so I like that. I'll take the Stone Quarry. I'm not going to play a second Uncomfortable Chill, and none of the other cards are interesting at all to me. Right. I guess I'd rather a Trumpet Blast than a Ghost Form, but I'm not playing either of those cards. Did I end up taking? I did take the first Frilled Sea Serpent, but oh well. Okay. And our last pack is okay. I mean, it's not great. Definitely. I mean, I would have preferred to open like a Lightning Strike or something like that, or an Enigma Drake, but yeah, I'll take an Electrify. I need removal. I don't really have too much of it. I'm kind of relying on these Dwindles to take care of my opponent's creatures. Man, I could use some Essence Scatters. That'd be good. I would like, in this pack, my wish list is 1 Enigma Drake, 2 Essence Scatters, and make it 2 Enigma Drakes. I'll take 2 Enigma Drakes. Thank you. That's not Enigma Drake, guys. I think you accidentally gave me the wrong pack. It's got Murder in it. Murder is an amazing card, but not for me. Okay, so let's see. In terms of 3-drop creatures, I've got a Gutter Snipe and an Onaki Ogre. So Bogart Brute would play. I could take another Viashino Pyromancer. I already have one. My deck is really divulging into 2 different decks, and mashing them together just tends to not be a recipe for success. But I think that I would rather just take another 2-drop, and this guy's... I do think that this card is pretty strong. It's not amazing, but I think it ends up being playable more than not. Okay, yeah, Volcanic Dragon works. It's just a powerful card on its own. Skilled Animator's good too, but I don't have enough artifacts to make that a really powerful card. But if I had like 6 artifacts, then this is a card that is very, very powerful. Yeah, Volcanic Dragon's pretty easy pick here. Okay. Not too much in terms of like the blue-red spells deck, but a few decent cards in Snapping Drake, Sparktongue Dragon, Siegebreaker Giant. Should probably like lean on the blue creature just because I do have this Gearsmith Guardian, and I don't really have any 4-drops. I have this 1 Snapping Drake, so probably take another Snapping Drake here. Need Sparktongue, Siegebreaker. Nah, I'm gonna take Siegebreaker Giant. Siegebreaker Giant is just a really powerful card on its own. Obviously, could read the card to you, but don't need to do that. Alright. Take this Tectonic Rift. No, I'll take a sure. Doesn't really matter. I'm not playing any of the cards in this pack. Okay. So here we have another Divination I probably don't need. Maybe a Havoc Devils. Let's actually see what my deck is going to look like. I don't think I really want to play this Crash Through if I can avoid it. Probably take out 1 Dwindle. Frilled Sea Serpent is not a card that I need. Forest is not a card that I would play. Uncomfortable Chill I could cut. So like, let's see. At this point I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 creatures. So I do need a couple more creatures. It might just be worth playing this Havoc Devils instead of just like grabbing another Divination. I would like to play another Divination. Alright, I'll take the Divination. I think I want Bookcase here over Wall. I do like Wall of Mist. It blocks a lot of the green creatures better. There's a bunch of 4-power creatures in this set, but I think Bookcase would work better for this deck. I really don't have too much that benefits from it. Like, works well with Onaki Ogre, Siegebreaker Giant, I guess, but it already has its own built-in invasion, so maybe I do just want to take Wall of Mist here. I don't think I want a third Dwindle. I don't even think I'm playing the second one, so I'll take Wall of Mist. I'm not sure it's going to make the cut, but it could be okay. Alright, got my Smelt. It's not like I really need this card, but it's playable. Speaking of no playables, there's no playables in this pack. I'll take the rare, I guess. Don't love Hostile Minotaur, but I will take it. This is unfortunate. I thought that this deck really started off strong, but I don't think that I really didn't end up getting as many of the good cards for this archetype that I had wanted. So definitely a little disappointed with what I ended up with. There's some strong cards in it, but it's not, like, as a whole, I don't think it's particularly powerful. I'm gonna cut this Wall of Mist, I think. Okay, cool. Yeah, so thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the draft portion, and I'll see you guys in the first round. Hey guys, here for round number 1. I did make one change to the deck. I took out the Gearsmith Guardian. I don't think I ended up with enough blue creatures to make that really work well. So I cut that and grabbed myself the Frilled Sea Serpent, which I think can be a decent option. Yeah, this is a pretty good hand. If my opponent doesn't have a 2-drop, then I can really start putting on pressure with Onaki Ogre into Electrify, and then having Salvager to grab Electrify back is just a really good piece of value, I guess. At least bluff the shock, right? I've actually found combat to be pretty quick. It's not, I don't know, I haven't been able to like necessarily get as full control as I really want. I know that there's like full control mode or whatever, but I haven't really loved that. I know that setting stops only works sort of like for only works one time, so like if I say click to add stop here or whatever, it doesn't really work. It'll stop in my second main phase, but it won't actually stick. Like now I can go to my end turn step, so I'm going to do that. But now my stop's gone. You could add stops at people's upkeeps and stuff, but basically it just stops when you have something to do. So it does sort of give it away, but I think it's fine. So Wall of Mist does a fine job of blocking Onaki Ogre. It's kind of annoying, but I will probably still play Electrify on it. I just won't get my 4 damage in, which kind of stinks, but nothing else to do. I'll be able to get it back with Electrify anyway. Ooh, maybe I won't do that then. Yeah, I'm definitely not going to do that. I like Bone to Ash much better. It could counter a 5-drop, which would be really good for me. And then being able to get it back with Salvager would be great. So, yeah, I like this line of play much better. I hope that my opponent actually does play a creature here. It's possible that they just pass, but yeah, that's perfect. Counter draw. And my turn. I don't think that they're going to attack. Okay. Yeah, I may as well go with the Salvager here. I guess I can attack. Doesn't really do much harm. It would be strange if they didn't block, but I want to at least give them the option to not block. Especially since, I don't know, it's sometimes fun to sort of mix up your plays a little bit. So last turn I didn't attack, this turn I did. Maybe something changed, maybe they don't want to block. But of course they should block their Wall of Mist. If their Wall of Mist isn't blocking my 4-power creature, then kind of what's the point? But yeah, grabbing the Bone to Ash there is really nice. Just the combination of being able to have Bone to Ash and Electrified both as options is always good, especially if my opponent plays something that has 4 or less toughness this turn. Then it would be really nice to be able to electrify their creature on end step if they don't play a creature that I can counter with Bone to Ash. I can see them not playing a creature. Ugh. Speaking of something that I need to kill immediately. Wow, that's actually a really good draw. Okay, so I've got options here. I could just play Sigiled Sword of Valeron and attack with Onaki Ogre, make a 2/2. The 2/2 dies to the Skyrider Patrol anyway, so that's not a huge deal. I think I'm just going to actually pass, though. And I'm going to let them get the actual counter on their Rejuvenator or their Skyrider Patrol, which kind of sucks. But I do want to be able... I don't want to give them free reign to tap out and play whatever they want. So I want to have Bone to Ash up. I don't know. We'll see what they end up doing. The fact that I need to kill this and I can electrify it at end step makes me happy. If they don't play anything and they like Titanic Growth or disperse it or something like that, that'll be a little bit unfortunate, but I think I'll still be able to deal with it at some point. Well, maybe I won't. It's not like I have so much removal, and this is a card that you really need to get off the table. It's not something that can just be ignored or like dwindled or anything like that. Okay, so they are going to use its ability, probably to pump itself. Oh, no, they're pumping the Rejuvenator. That's fine. Okay, I'll take the damage here. Okay, so they have a Divination, which is pretty good for them because, wait. I think we're still in their main phase. I probably should have waited until their end step, but either way, I'll kill the Rejuvenator now. I think at this point, since they're tapped out, I'm going to take the time to just drop the sword, and I will tap out. Tapping out is not such a big deal when I have Exclusion Mage. Anyway, so I will equip to my Salvager. This ensures that I get 4 damage, or I guess 6 damage through this turn. And then it's also a less valuable creature for me, and I know one of my creatures is going to trade with the Rejuvenator, so next turn. So I'm really okay with this outcome, basically. I'd prefer not to have to move the sword for an extra turn. I know it looks a little silly that I let my opponent get the counter out of this. Since they had Divination, it didn't really hurt them too much to take the turn off of playing a creature, but it helped me get really far ahead on board. Like, they would have been able to play this Colossal Dreadmaw. I wouldn't have been able to do the sword shenaniganry. So overall, I'm pretty happy with the results. As I mentioned, I'm going to be able to Exclusion Mage, bounce. Oh, that is so good for me. I'm definitely winning this race at this point. I mean, I know it looks like they think that... Oh, okay. I guess they heard me. But yeah, being able to bounce the Colossal Dreadmaw is really good for me. That's a great draw. Anyway, now I'm way ahead on board. I have all my creatures. I have 4 creatures attacking here. I know that they're going to be able to trade here. Oh, I should let them go to blockers. That's my bad. But yeah, this is looking good for me. They can replay the Dreadmaw, but I have Bone to Ash. I'm going to be able to re-equip the sword next turn. I know I could re-equip it this turn. It's actually not a terrible play to re-equip it this turn, because then I can, they'll replay the Dreadmaw, and then I can disperse it on end step. They didn't block with this? Okay, that's fine. I don't really need to. I can always re-equip next turn. I have plenty of mana, so it's not a big deal. They're probably still just going to replay Dreadmaw. I don't even need to show them disperse. Yeah, I mean, the main reason to equip, really, is so that... I will Bone to Ash this. Doesn't really matter what I counter, just that I counter something. But yeah, sorry, what I was trying to say is that the biggest reason to re-equip is to have them just play out the Dreadmaw, and then I can disperse it on my turn. Which guarantees me the win. Shock is a good draw. Kind of guarantees that I'm going to be able to kill them next turn. Even if they have like a bounce spell. This is actually the first time I've seen somebody's timer get so low. Of course, it's my luck that that happens when I'm actually recording a video, but can't always win them. Oh, come on. I really have never seen that. I didn't realize that they could even do that. Okay. I mean, they're actually dead on board, so I don't know why we needed to wait so long. Because they can block here and here, and they still take 6 and die. Yep, I get it. You don't realize that you're dead. Okay, going to game 2. Not really sure what in particular my opponent's doing. Dwindle looks particularly good. I think I'll add in a second Dwindle. I think Wall of Mist looks good, because I'm playing against just like a green deck. I'll probably take out Sure Strike. They probably have like bounce spells for it. Thinking one of the disperses can probably get cut. Doesn't seem as good in this matchup as other options, because I think that it'll be a longer game. I think that both of our decks try to slow the game down, so playing a card that's purely tempo is not really where you want to be. Sorry guys, I just got really tired. It's one of the reasons why I haven't been making as many videos, but I've been trying recently. I know a lot of you have noticed that, so but yeah, I think this will have to be my last video. I'll have to finish this this draft a different day. I like this hand. I have a good option in Shock early. I have Omen Speaker to help me dig into another land. I have Divination to draw me out of whatever land shenanigans I'm doing. I have Salvager to get me some more card advantage. I really like this hand a lot, actually. And I'm very happy to draw the third land. Oops. Yeah, and this is one of the problems where I feel like it sort of gives away what card you have. If like I play a mountain and then it doesn't automatically pass my turn, then my opponent sort of knows what's going on here. Alright, well this is perfect. For me, I can just, I didn't really need to do that because I do have Omen Speaker, but just being able to use all my mana is really good. It's possible that I wanted to save that in case my opponent has like Snapping Drake or something. I can put both of these on the bottom. To drawing, I mean, even maybe if one of them was an island, I would think of keeping it because I do need double blue for Salvager, but I think I just need spells at this point, so I'm happy to send both those to the bottom. But yeah, maybe killing a Highland game was a little premature. I just have my mana mapped out for the first few turns of this game, so I didn't feel like it was really necessary. Alright, so my opponent still hasn't done anything. I could hold this in case they have Essence Scatter, but I think I'm just going to go for it. I've found that it's not worth playing around Essence Scatter in most instances in this format. Obviously there are some where you would benefit from it, but I think for the most part it's just like you don't really need to. And if you do, then I mean I'm giving up a lot of damage if they don't have Essence Scatter and they don't have a way to block this Onaki Ogre really soon. Either way, I mean, it didn't matter too much killing the Highland game. Most likely next turn my play is going to be Divination, and then I'll have 1 red mana left over. So I would have been able to shock it then. Druid of Horns, sure. There's my island. I don't think I want to dwindle it. I think I'm okay trading the Onaki Ogre. Banefire and Volcanic Dragon. Those are things that I like to see. I'm actually going to attack with both. I think that they're going to want to trade here. And if they don't trade and they just go for the block, then I traded 2 for, like I got 4 extra, or like it sort of contributes their decision to let 4 extra damage through, which is going to be beneficial for me. Like especially after seeing these 2 draws, I'm going to be able to push through a lot of evasive damage this game. So I just want to hit them down as low as possible. Especially like Salvager plus Banefire. There's the Snapping Drake. Okay. I think we're just gonna salvage back my my shock. Now that I know that they have that. It's just a really nice play to be able to get rid of that for 1 mana. If they play like a Oakenform on it or something like that, then I can dwindle it, which is just like a really nice option to have. Or Banefire. I really like Salvager of Secrets. I'm not sure if I like it better than it actually is, but it's just a card that I find myself wanting to play and wanting to draft, and whenever I actually do use it, it just always seems to be so good. I mean, in some games you don't actually have a target for it, and then it's obviously not good, but with most of the times that I'm actually building a deck around it, I end up with a target most of the time, or almost all the time, so. Okay. Centaur Courser. Alright, Siegebreaker Giant is a really good draw, in my mind. It allows me to contribute to the board this turn and still shock the Snapping Drake. Obviously, it's not great against Centaur Courser. It would trade for it if I don't use its ability. But I think that's okay. It prevents them from attacking in. It makes them. This card makes your opponent scared on every single turn that it's out there. Okay, Wall of Mist is not great against this card, and it's really not great against my deck, I don't think. It's probably... I mean, I guess they saw Naki Ogre, so it's a card that they want to keep in, but in general, I don't think it's a particularly good card against me. Not going to attack in with the Siegebreaker Giant. I don't want to trade. I don't want to make this trade, especially because next turn I don't really have any use for my mana, so I can just make something not block. They could also play a Colossal Dreadmaw here, in which case I'll dwindle, and then I'll have 3 mana left. I'll have 4 mana left over to use the Siegebreaker Giant's ability. So definitely a card that I want to hold back on trading. I don't want to trade it yet. Volcanic Dragon did its thing last turn. Always like to see that. It's kind of a bizarre attack, but I'm okay with it. I mean, this card sort of forces me to spend 4 mana if I want to attack with the Siegebreaker Giant. And I'm still at 14 life. It's a really high life total considering they don't have much of a board right now. Okay. I mean, do I have them dead? I have them 6/10. I could hit them for 13 this turn. If I make this not block, then I can hit them for 10, 11, and I would not have enough to Banefire them to death. Okay, I'm just going to dwindle the Hydra. And then tell this thing not to block. The Hydra can't even chump block the Siege Giant because it'll get destroyed, and this thing has trample, so it'll still trample over for the full 6. So they can chump a 2/2 basically and save 2 damage here. That's really their only option. And then they're taking 11 damage regardless. It's just a matter if they wanted to save some of it. So yeah, unless they can kill me this next turn, I'm going to be able to Banefire them to death. And I don't think they can kill me. Even if they have like a Disperse and a Titanic Growth, that's still only 12 damage. And that has to be 2 out of their 3 cards. So I think I'm pretty much in the clear. I guess they could have had 3 Titanic Growths. Maybe I should have held back with the Omen Speaker. I don't know. Anyway, that worked out well for me. My deck did a lot of good things there. Really just ground through itself by casting Divinations and getting value off of Salvager of Secrets. So I'm happy to see that. Ooh, we got a pack and a Bane Whip Punisher. I don't know. I'm not too interested in playing Constructed, so I'm not sure that this whole arena thing is gonna, like, I don't know if I'll be able to go infinite, and I don't know. Hey, I opened Banefire. Yeah, I don't know if I'll be able to go infinite with cards, and it's not like you can sell your cards to enter into drafts. Like, you can use gems to enter into drafts. Like, let me just go back to... So it costs 1,500 gems. Gems can be purchased in the store, and they can also be won in events, or like this. So like if I get 3 wins, then I get my gems back, and I can play another draft. But I think that if this sort of runs dry, most of this time you're grinding for gold. I don't know, what is the... Yeah, see, like, rewards, you can enter gold to get into these events, These are like the constructed events. But you can't actually win gems in these events. So, I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I'm going to come back and... what is this timer? Oh, I'm waiting for a new quest. I'm going to come back and do the rest of the matches a different day. But I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys later. Bye. Hey guys, I'm Daisho, and I'm here for round 2, I believe, of this Magic Arena draft. First round went well for me. That's mostly what I remember, since it is the next day for me. This is a really bad hand. I only have 1 land, and I only have 1 color. This one's better. It's not something... Ooh. I do like the sword, but I don't know if this is the right hand for it. I was about to say, it's not really a great hand because I don't have anything good to do early. I think I'm just going to keep it. It's one of my better cards, and it's just one that will win me the game in the long run. I have Dwindle to make sure that I don't lose early on in the game. So that'll be good. And I really should be doing more of the full control stuff, because my opponent just is not concerned with me having like an Essence Scatter or something. I'm okay if their best play here is just to equip up the Druid of the Cowl, though. Anyway, so since I mulliganed, I can actually Divination this turn. Yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. It gives me a card to get back with Salvager. It gets me closer potentially to a different creature that I could play next turn. We'll see what my opponent's up to here. They might be playing like a Blanchwood Armor type deck. They've already played 3 forests, which is definitely significant here. Still didn't really get what I wanted going on. All right, well, I mean, I guess I could play... I think I just want to save some life here and dwindle the Druid of the Cowl. No, I don't want to dwindle Druid of the Cowl. I mean, it does have Trample and it's got this enchantment on it, but I think I'd rather dwindle the Gallant Cavalry, because Druid of the Cowl might not even attack every turn. This is guaranteed to save me damage every turn. Overall, this is definitely not going well for me so far. It just wasn't a great hand, and especially since my opponent is getting in for some damage early on. Okay, so they overtapped on green mana for some reason. Alright, I mean, this could be worse for me. For sure. Exclusion Mage would be nice, but I don't want to waste my mana. I want to be able to really use it all on every turn. So I'm just going to play Salvager and get back Divination, obviously, and then plan to trade with the Satyr Enchanter if they give me that option. This also is better because I know that my opponent is playing auras, because they have Satyr Enchanter. Like, just them casting a Knight's Pledge gives me a little bit more value out of the Exclusion Mage. I want to try that next turn. Okay, so I could chump, but I think I'm just going to take the damage here. Westwing Falcon. Alright, so in this instance, I kind of just want to get Frilled Sea Serpent on the board. It blocks this anyway. Maybe I should have just chumped last turn. And it puts me in a position to be able to play Sword of Valron and attack with it if I need to. Yeah, I mean, this could go wrong if my opponent has a removal spell or another aura or something like that, but I mean, it does give me this flexibility here where now I can bounce the Rustwing Falcon next turn, which would kill me. Well, they do have quite a bit of stuff going on. Okay, so yeah, here I'm just going to play Divination. Help me look for any potential outs to this situation. Those are a couple of decent draws, actually. Because now I can Exclusion Mage and bounce the Falcon. Get rid of that Knight's Pledge, and then I'm obviously not in good shape, but at least I'm not dead on board here. If they attacked in, I would have to chump and trade. Yeah, that wouldn't actually be too bad for me. They don't really have a good attack unless they have a card in hand. Disperse will be really nice to have up as a backup. I will need to kill this Rustwing Falcon pretty quickly, though. But yeah, next turn there's a good chance that I just play Gutter Snipe and Sigiled Sword and then hold up Disperse. Because I'll have 8 mana, so that'll work. So unless I draw something else, then obviously that'll be my play. I could play Sigiled Sword and just attack in. Oh, they're attacking with everything. Interesting. Alright, I mean, these aren't really... this is really not a bad situation for me. Okay. Bone to Ash. That could come in handy. So I think that, let's see, 3, 5... Ugh, I don't have quite enough. Oops. I want to spend red mana. And I can't play both of these two. So, and I'm going to need to disperse something. I'm going to need to at least disperse that. So, yeah, this is not looking good. It's possible that I should have just not used the sword. Not even played it, just because at this point I'm going to have to chump block the Gutter Snipe. There's still a chance that I win this game. Guess I don't even really want to kill this Druid of the Cowl, but I sort of have to. Okay. And then I will disperse this back to hand. Unfortunately, I can't counter it on the way down, but if I draw an answer to that Rustwing Falcon, then I might be in decent shape, like if I draw an Electrify or something like that. Because now I'm going to be able to equip up the sword and attack in, so now I have creatures on the ground. Ugh, that hurts. Alright, well I didn't draw anything, so that's going to be this first game. So yeah, I mean, my opponent definitely got on the front foot. I drew a few too many lands, but otherwise I think it was a pretty close game. I think I like Dwindle in this matchup. My opponent's playing a lot of enchantments, so that can get me some good 2-for-1s if they don't have the Satyr Enchanters out. Outside of that, I don't think I want any of these cards in my sideboard. Perhaps Sure Strike is not too bad, but I already have one in the main, so that should be fine. Maybe a Viashino Pyromancer? Yeah, I'm really trying to be a lot more controlling in this matchup, so just a random 2-1 is not quite as good as it could be in other matchups. They already showed me Druid of the Cowl as a 2-drop that just sort of blanks Pyromancer anyway. Maybe I should have switched the other Pyromancer to a wall. Alright, I'll keep this. It's not really doing great things, but Gutter Snipe, or like a creature plus sword, is a pretty good combination, so we'll see if that works out. Alright. Pyromancer's a good draw. Definitely helps me get on the board early. And I can also use it to threaten using sword, so prevent them from attacking. kind of thing. I think I would rather play out the sword here than the gutter snipe. It makes them really not want to use this Druid of the Cowl next turn, or like, because honestly, even if they do tap out and play a creature here, I guess they want to play a creature here that can block the knight. That's sort of the ideal situation for them. Block the knight profitably, I guess, and kill it. So like a 2/3 or better. But yeah, I mean, this is Sigiled Sword of Valoron. It doesn't go with the plan of my deck, but it's just such a powerful card on its own that I'm pretty much always going to toss it in whatever deck I'm playing. If my opponent does nothing, then I will probably just I'll probably just equip the sword and attack. I think that would just be a good use for my turn, to trade for a card on their side and get a 2/2 out of the deal. It's not like playing Gutter Snipe would be particularly good for me, but... Alright, so this is sort of in the realm of what my opponent wanted to do, is play something that can just eat the 2/2 that I make. I'm still going to go ahead and equip. They're obviously going to be able to block with the Vine Mare. There's nothing in the format that can... What? Oh man, I don't really get that. There's nothing in the format just for 1 red mana that can add power. Like, there's Shock, but I can't Shock a Vine Mare because it's got Hexproof, so there's no reason for them to take the hit from the 2/2, and now I have an extra 2/2 on board, and I'm threatening their life total a lot better. Okay. Probably just going to dwindle the Thornhide Wolves, keep the attacks coming. It's unfortunate that I can't electrify it, because that would use my mana better, but at least Dwindle has the upside. I may as well attack with everything. At least Dwindle has the upside of, or sort of like the downside, but it's not actually an enchantment, or sorry, it's not actually a spell, so it doesn't go well with either of these 2 cards, so it's not like a huge deal. That I'm playing it before I actually get these cards out, so overall that was a fine turn for me. I got the extra 2 damage in by attacking with the knight. They chose to block this turn, which definitely I think was the right move. I think they probably should have done that last turn, but I just like the fact that I have Gutter Snipe, Salvager of Secrets, and Electrify, so I can really just end this game. Even if they lock up the ground, I can start getting in some extra damage through my Gutter Snipe. So basically my point is that getting rid of half their life total by now in the game without being under much pressure myself is really, really strong for me. But we'll have to see what they have here. I think I will take out the Pyromancer for the Wall next game. Wall does a good job against Thornhide Wolves. It's a 2-drop that can actually block a 5-drop, which is kind of crazy. Obviously it doesn't help you turn the corner, but I'm going to hope that my Flyers and removal spells will be able to get me through. But yeah, I think we're going to take out this Pyromancer. Obviously it looks good in this game, but next game my opponent will be on the play, so this would not have looked good, because the first turn it could have attacked, it would have been attacking into a Thornhide Wolf, so that wouldn't have been particularly strong of a play. So it looks like my opponent's using their timeout, which, again, I honestly can't believe that in the, I don't know, 20 matches that I've played on Arena, that has never happened, and then now all of a sudden that I'm actually... now all of a sudden that I'm actually playing with, like, in front of you guys, like, now it's happening every single game. I honestly don't think that I'm going to attack with the Pyromancer this turn. I think I'm just going to play Gutter Snipe and pass, and again, this is really mana inefficient, but I think that sort of keeping the board stable and then just being able to like next turn divination, attack with this, re-equip, something like that. But like trading this with the Druid of the Cowl is not great. One of the knights would just get eaten by Vinemare and one of them would trade with the Gallant Cavalry. So then they'll have Vinemare and a 2/2 against my board, and then they're going to be able to start attacking. I mean, I could just re-equip. Yeah, I don't know. I think I like this best. My other option is I could play Divination, but I think I want Gutter Snipe on board first because I think that I'll be able to burn them out. Plus, I'm leaving up. Let's see if I could do this. I don't know why this doesn't work, but I feel like you're supposed to be able to hit Shift and Control and then have full control for good. But we'll see what happens. But yeah, basically what I'm trying to do right now is bluff that I might have an Essence Scatter. That's potentially something that my opponent was thinking about last turn, but chose to play the Gallant Cavalry into it. So, I don't know. I think that my full control, though, is gone now. I think I need to repress it. I don't know what this lock thing does. Wall enabled. Ugh. Okay, so they're using Talons here with the Vine in combination with the Vinemare to draw a card. I think that I'm okay with this overall. Next turn I'll be able to kill the Satyr Enchanter. I don't know. I wish that there was a log here because I don't remember if they actually played. What does this ×1 mean? Oh, I guess timeout to use. I don't know. Oh, wait. They're waiting for me. I honestly didn't realize they were waiting for me that whole time. Whoops. Oh, they're not attacking? That's bizarre. Okay. Alright, I guess I'm in full control mode now, so that's good. Oh, I don't actually like full control mode. I probably should not use it because I'm not used to it basically. All right, so this looks pretty good for me. I guess I could have used the Electrify on the Satyr Enchanter instead of doing that, but that's okay. So yeah, I don't think I'm going to attack here. I think I'd rather just have Disperse up. Though now I get to trade the Pyromancer with one of these instead, so that's a little better. Alright, I'll attack. And then I can also re-equip post-combat if I need to. They take another 2 damage here. And now I think I'd rather just re-equip to the Knight. And I don't have Disperse up, but I can still block their Vinemare. I'm also still at 20, so I guess one card that I should be worried about is like Declare Dominance, but Bugler is not a huge deal here. Yeah, this is looking good. Okay, they got a Rustwing Falcon. Honestly, I have lethal in hand. I mean, not real lethal, but I have enough. Oh, that's a lot of damage. But I have enough spells, including the Salvager to get back Disperse or something like that, to actually just kill them. So, Exclusion Mage. Alright, I think I just... Let's see. I think I just electrify the Pegasus Courser to stop them from getting in for damage. Not that it really matters, but yeah, there's no good attacks here. The 2/3 prevents the good attacks, and I don't really want to use Gutter Snipe. Wait, I didn't have lethal there, right? No. Okay, sorry. Back to what I was saying. Pegasus Courser prevents them from getting in a big hit, which, like, if I can't actually use, like, get through with the last points with Gutter Snipe, then that could have been a problem. Okay, well, I can take the 6 here. This definitely is a risky line of play for my opponent because they're only at 4 life here, so if they don't have a couple of creatures to make sure that I can't get in for the last couple of points of damage, then that could be trouble for them. But I guess they have a lot of cards in hand here. Another Vine Mare. Sure. And Rustwing Falcon. Okay, go to the end of turn and then disperse, I guess, Satyr Enchanter. And then I'm doing this because if I draw a land, then I can kill them on the spot here. Or if I draw a spell, then I also just kill them, so. Alright, so Gutter Snipe gets a job done. That's pretty much exactly what I was hoping for, was just to get through a few points of damage with Gutter Snipe. Wall of Mist is definitely a card that I would prefer over Pyromancer. Well, Wall of Mist does not do a good job blocking Vine Mare, so that's a little bit unfortunate. I guess it works with Sure Strike, but the sword, I might just take out the sword. Taking out another 2-drop makes it even worse, and the fact that I'm going to be on the draw this game might make it worse, so I think I actually am going to take that out for another Frilled Sea Serpent. Potentially it's not the right call, but maybe I should just be playing like a Sure Strike instead. But I want to make sure that I actually have enough creatures. I've only got 11 creatures in the deck, so I'm a little worried about that. Yeah, I don't really love my chances here. I think that my opponent's deck is well suited to beat mine with 2 Vine Mares. That's just going to be something that I won't be able to handle in a lot of games. So maybe I should have just gone on a more aggressive plan and hope that I can kill them before they get their super combos assembled. So yeah, I really don't love my chances. I think that thinking more about this deck over the last day, I think that my deck is really, really bad. It's got a couple of powerful cards, which is nice, but it's not doing the blue-red spells thing that you want the blue-red spells thing deck to do. This hand is pretty good. I'm going to put the land on the bottom. I'm hoping to draw into like divinations or early creatures that I can play. This could be pretty solid for me because my opponent might just like go ahead and Night's Pledge, and then I'll be able to kill the Rustwing or Talons. I mean, Talons isn't as good, but I'm still going to do this. It buys me so much time. Because his Talons will take them forever to actually get back. It's possible that I shouldn't have done that, but then, especially because I have like Disperse and Dwindle as options to hurt or like get rid of their bigger threat if they added like an Oakenform or a Blanchwood Armor to it. Okay, let's play another island. Threaten to have like a cancel or something like that. But yeah, I mean, definitely need to draw a couple of spells here. If they played like a big aura on this, that's okay. They have another Talons, that's fine. I don't particularly want to kill that yet. Like, I wish that it also had like a Night's Pledge on it, but that's okay. Frilled Sea Serpent. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and dwindle the Bugler. It's obviously not great for me, but at least it sort of traps this Talons and really prevents them from getting any extra value off of it. Okay, so they're going to return and equip the Talons to the Falcon. Okay, that's fine. I mean, they're only hitting me for 2 damage. I'm not too concerned about that. That's a pretty good draw. I think I'm going to... I really want to hit my 5-drops next turn, so I think I'm just going to actually get rid of this Disperse. Normally I would get rid of the land here, but I think hitting my 6 mana is just extremely important for me to win this game. So even though I think that there's a good chance that I would have hit it anyway, I think it makes... Oh my goodness! I didn't... Oh... I guess I'm playing too fast here, but that was a really, really bad play. I don't know. I mean, I guess I'm really way behind anyway, and I'm probably just gonna lose. That sword is exactly what they need here, but that was just like a completely boneheaded play and doesn't bode well for me. All right, I need to get this off the board, but I don't really want to lose my dragon, so I'm gonna go ahead and play the Sea Serpent. They're going to be able to hit me for a lot of damage, though. They're going to be able to hit me for 6 damage here. I'm not sure if I have any outs at this point. Getting the Gutter Snipe on board would have been a little bit better. I would have been able to kill one of the 2/2s, but not much that I can do about that now. Alright, Druid of the Cowl is actually sort of going to make this lethal, right? Because I can trade here, block 1 2/2, but then get killed by the other one. So, I mean, I may as well like threaten to have a shock, but they're gonna just attack in and kill me. So if I had kept the Disperse instead, then I would have maybe been okay. But yep, that'll do it. But either way, I think that this this was a bad matchup for me, and I don't know if I took any of the right decisions, and then definitely not playing the Gutter Snipe was really dumb. Definitely potential for me to have been able to stabilize had I not made that mistake, but yeah, I mean, it's hard to... I feel like this sort of encourages you to play really quickly, so when you don't, or like when you're playing really quickly and I don't know, I'm not used to the interface. Maybe I'm just making excuses, but alright, let's just jump right back into it, get the next round done. Yeah, I don't think that the deck is good. Like, the blue-red spells deck I think tends to be a pretty synergistic deck, and I don't have too much synergy here. I'm just playing. I mean, honestly, I mentioned it a lot during the draft that half my deck is doing one thing and half my deck is doing another thing, so I really don't like that about it. So, yeah, we'll see. Hopefully this game will go a little bit better. I mean, in the games where I draw the sword, it looks really good, and in the games where I can take control of the game, it looks pretty good. But then there's those... I don't know. I also think that last matchup was not great, where my opponent actually had a really nice deck, where they were able to have like really good threats to actually put auras on. They basically did everything that that deck wanted to do, so definitely gotta give them props for that. I don't love this hand. Bone to Ash with no blue sources is kind of crappy, but at least I'll be able to curve out and play creatures, so I like that aspect of it. The sword is really nice draw. I'm not sure if I'm going to play the sword next turn. I think I probably will. Depends on what... If they do nothing, then I'm definitely playing the sword. Going to attack first, but... Ooh. Man, I do kind of want to just play the Onaki Ogre now. I think I'm going to play the Ogre. Right? No, I'm going to play the sword. The reason why I'm playing the sword is because it just makes it so that my opponent really has to like get this guy out of the way. If they don't, then they're going to be in big trouble pretty quickly. If they play like a 4-3, then they're in really bad shape. Alright, so now that my opponent didn't do anything, I kind of just want to play Onaki Ogre. I think I cautioned this sort of situation where like my opponent very easily could have Shock, very easily could have Lightning Strike. So I don't want to just fall behind by equipping and then having them kill my creature. So I mean, it's sort of like a risk-reward type thing where the game, like, I could literally just win the game if I equip and they don't have anything. But I'd rather just wait for them to make a move first. And adding the Onaki Ogre to the board is also really good for me. So at this point, since they didn't kill anything on end step, and they know that they're going to fall really far behind, I think that they just don't have anything. So I'm a lot more, and they also discarded a card, so I'm a lot more tempted to go for it. Plus, I already have the Onaki Ogre on board, so I'm doing a lot of damage to them just by hitting them with the Ogre. Okay, so they did have a Lightning Strike, but it forced them to use the Lightning Strike on the weaker creature, which obviously is not great, but it has some value to it, that sort of play. So, and just being able to get, like, push more damage through is good for me. Okay. I think that I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing here. No, maybe I should, because now at this point, again, if they do have another removal spell, I don't know. I don't think that they have another removal spell, and this is a lethal attack. And it's not like if they do have the removal spell for it here, then I lose. I still can do a really good job. Oh, I guess it's not lethal. I don't know why I thought it was lethal. All right, I mean, they're just going to concede anyway. But, yeah, I think that was the right move there. So my opponent's playing red-green, which makes me sort of want to do the Wall of Mist thing, but maybe the Wall of Mist plan is just, like, not a plan that I can really do, because I just need my creatures, and I need the sword to actually be able to win games. So I might just stick with my current plan. It's definitely an awkward deck, but I think it might be my best option. So I'm going to go ahead and submit. Whew. That was a really easy win. Obviously my opponent didn't draw enough lands, so that's one way that I win. I have to draw sword and have them not draw enough lands. But to be fair, I only drew 3 lands and they were only of 1 color, so yeah, it was this is like exactly the same hand as I had last game, but worse because I don't have a 2-drop. I think I gotta keep it. Just having the sword is really nice. Having a 2-drop with the sword is definitely better, but I think that this is still my best bet to winning the game is keeping the 7 card as opposed to going down to 6. Mountain is the worst draw in my deck. Although, on the other hand, Island is the best draw in my deck. Opens up my hand to being able to Exclusion Mage and Disperse. Yeah, that was overall just a really good draw. Okay. I will attack here. And next turn I'm going to play the sword here. So next turn I can equip the sword and then disperse anything they play, and then the next turn I can Exclusion Mage. So I'd say my chances of winning this game are somewhere in the realm of 90% or more. Definitely looking really good for me. They just said oops. I wonder if that was just like oops oops I lose, or I mean I feel bad for my opponent. We really didn't get to play any games, but if they want to concede, then they can concede. Like, I'm not gonna. I don't know what the etiquette is. Maybe I should just say good game, but like whatever. I'll kill them in a couple of turns anyway. All right. So they drew a 4th land here, and they conceded. Okay, I mean, the sword really ends the game quickly. Normally, my opponents would be able to get out from under something like that, but since I actually drew the sword, it really helped me out. So let's see, we got 800 gems locked up. So if I win another one, then I get my money back, and then everything past that would be really great. But yeah, hopefully I can. I mean, if I manage to get, or maybe I should. Is there something else that I wanted to change about the deck? No, I think that. Well, I guess the cancel button doesn't work. I think that I have what I want with this deck. So, I mean, it's not really what I want, but I think I have the best option from the pool that I have available. By the way, it's honestly possible that I want a card like Lava Axe in this deck. I would have liked to get more flyers that can really chip in for some early damage. And then, I mean, I think that could have worked out better for me. But either way, I think this is actually a really good hand. I have Ogre, I have Snapping Drake to start getting in damage. I have Shock, which can help me stabilize early and really get ahead. If they play like a 2-drop that I can kill here, that'd be awesome. Doesn't look like it. I like drawing the 3rd land. And hopefully they play their own version of Onaki Ogre, because then I'll just be able to shock that and then untap and play mine. 2nd Island is key for this Bone to Ash that I've got in hand. Ooh, Bogart Brute, that counts. That really helps me get ahead here, and then now I have the 3-drop on the board first. I think I want Onaki Ogre. I think that this creature that I play this turn is pretty likely to trade, although I guess if I played Gutter Snipe, then I could have sure striked. So, yeah, we'll see what my opponent has here. I think that I have a lot of branching directions that I can go in. Whew, that's a good one. Okay, so yeah, I have a ton of directions that I can go in here. I can play Gutter Snipe and pass a turn, and then they're tempted to not attack with Gore Claw. I think that I want to attack though, because I think this is going to be a game about tempo. And then next turn, if I play Gutter Snipe, then I can Gutter Snipe and Tormenting Voice, and then hopefully draw into a land so that I can disperse. So I think that I want to encourage my opponent to try and race me. It's possible that I'm wrong and that they just play like two 4/2s next turn or something like that. But I think that for now, this is my best shot at winning. Tormenting Voice is probably going to discard Bone to Ash, just because I can't really see myself being able to, or like being afforded the opportunity to just hold back on mana. So we'll see what my opponent has for me, but yeah, hopefully this Gore Claw isn't just going to run rampant on this game. Okay, that is a big creature. All right, so they hit me for 5, no blocks. Yeah, I think that this is... Okay, so if I don't draw it, then I just lose. But I think that I don't have any other options. If I don't draw a land to actually cast Disperse, then I think I just lose. But I think that this is my best shot to win this game, is to play 2 spells this turn. I really hope I draw the land. Oh, I didn't draw the land. Ugh. Alright. I don't think that was a bad decision on my part, but I don't know, maybe it was just a little too risky. I had well over a 50% chance to draw the land there. Spark-Tongue Dragon isn't great for me, because they get another dragon out of it. Yeah. Yep, this one's over. Believe it or not, guys, I don't think I'm going to win this one. I guess it's not impossible. There's that land that I could have used. So this turn I can go with Disperse and Sure Strike. Does that kill me? I disperse. Yeah, I'm just dead. I guess I go with a Disperse here. Wait, let's cancel. Like, what if I Disperse? So that's 2 damage, then they're at 12. Yeah, okay, so like if they don't block with anything, then I can kill them. But, so I do think that it's worth going for here. But I don't really see that happening. And I guess if they block with both, then I live to fight another turn. Get to keep my Gutter Snipe around, trade off the Onaki Ogre. That's kind of what I was worried about. So now I can hit them for 7-9, but that's not enough, so I'm going to die. There's no point in showing them the Sure Strike at this point because they just untap and kill me. So, oh well. I think I would have almost assuredly won that game if I had done that. Maybe taking a more conservative approach would have been better. Drawing a land when it's probably like 45% of my deck off 2 draws is pretty good. It's what, like 70% or something like that. So I think that taking the 70% chance to like absolutely win the game is better than like maybe the 50% chance to win the game. So yeah, I think that would have been a better option. I'm not really sure. I mean, I guess this is stupid. They're gonna kill me. I don't even have a way to win the game on the next turn. So yeah, I don't think that I played that game wrong. I think that trying to race was the right way to go. It just didn't end up working out. All right. I think in this game I still want to be aggressive, so maybe adding another Dwindle makes sense. Getting rid of... well, Bone to Ash does seem pretty good against them if I can make that happen. Maybe Omen Speaker won't be able to actually block anything against them. Alright, I'll take out Bone to Ash. It does seem okay against them, but I think that it's my best cut, just because it'll be hard to get that going. Yeah, I mean, my deck actually looked really good there. They just played rare into card that synergizes with the first rare. So that's always going to be hard to beat. I don't love this hand, but I don't think it's one that I can really throw back with 3 lands, both colors, a couple of spells that I can use to survive. And like I'm very unlikely to just lose the game on the spot with this hand. Also, having an answer to their Goreclaw and a Lathless is pretty nice. It's obviously not the best answer to Lathless if I know that my opponent's playing Sparktongue Dragon, but I guess I should like hold full control, at least to pretend that I might have a shock. But whatever, doesn't really matter. Okay, that's fine. I have no shocks. I have no Essence Scatters. I wouldn't play either of them anyway. I think I'm going to play Exclusion Mage here to use up my mana, set them back. I mean, this Greenwood Sentinel would be attacking like a whole bunch if I didn't do that, so it really does set them back. I mean, obviously if they don't have a 3-drop, they'll replay it and then trade, and then it's not like a huge deal. But if they have another 3-drop, then this card might not get played until like turn 8 or something like that. So that'll be a pretty nice situation for me. So unfortunately, I'm drawing all my islands and not my mountains. And Siegebreaker Giant is double red, so it'll require another land. But that's okay. I'll just use this turn to electrify something, and hopefully next turn draw a mountain or another spell that I can play instead of Siegebreaker Giant. But yeah, getting Siegebreaker Giant online would be pretty nice. Okay. I think I'd rather kill the Spider than the Brute. Maybe I do want to just kill Bogart Brute here. Saves me a couple of damage. Spider can't block Siegebreaker Giant effectively, while this can, and I think Siegebreaker Giant is my best option to win the game. Plus this saves me 3 damage this turn. Whew, great draw. So yeah, now I have Siegebreaker Giant online. I can stop things from blocking. I have Disperse, so I can really start punching through damage. This card is really powerful when it gets going. So there's Goreclaw. Okay, drew a Divination here. I think I'm going to go ahead and play Divination. Okay, Frilled Sea Serpent, Vishino Pyromancer. I don't suspect that they'll make this trade. And if they do, I'm probably okay with it, especially after drawing Frilled Sea Serpent. So I'm just going to attack with the Siegebreaker Giant. and hopefully follow up with the Pyromancer. I can also just do this, and then if they do block, I can disperse their Goreclaw. So them blocking means that they don't have like Lathless in hand or anything like that. So yeah, I think I'm just going to actually go for that play. This guy's got Trample, so I'll still get the damage through, but I was curious to see if this would be their play. But yeah, so now I get to hit them. I sort of get the knowledge that they wanted to block, and now next turn I can still use the ability, the 4-mana ability, to push some damage through if I want to. I can play Sea Serpent, and then the next turn really get them with some big creatures. But yeah, they're gonna have a couple of options here to play 2 creatures instead of 1. Ooh, Banefire being the draw is really tempting to make a big attack here, because I just sort of want to end the game with this. So let's see, I've got 6 mana, so I can't Dwindle and use Siegebreaker Giant. Alright, I think that my best option is just going to be to play Frilled Sea Serpent. I could make this not block and then just attack with both of these, because then that makes them want to trade here, and then they'll take 6, and then if I draw a land, then I can just kill them with Banefire. This actually sounds really good, because otherwise I don't have like a clear way of getting them down, and they have 4 cards in hand. So I actually think I'm going to go ahead and do this. I still get to play the Pyromancer this turn, so I will get to kill them if they just take the free value. If they don't take the free value, then I get to trade 2 for 1 for my Siegebreaker Giant and hit them for 2, and then Fusino Pyromancer them. So like that's equally good for me, basically. But this way, I'm threatening to kill them next turn, and okay, so they are going to make the play of double blocking the Siegebreaker Giant, recognizing how big of a threat it is. That's fair. Either way, I think that given this outcome, this play is a lot better than just playing Frilled Sea Serpent and passing. Drawing Banefire really changes the math, I think. I'm not quite as close to killing them, but I'm still in really good shape to turn this game around. Or not turn it around, but just close it out. Alright, Sky Scanner. Not a great... I mean, I guess it looks really good against Pyromancer, so it's not bad for them. Well, that's absolutely an excellent draw. They'll probably just chump here. I mean, they don't want to go down to 4 against a deck that they've seen... I think they saw Gutter Snipe? Yeah, they definitely saw Gutter Snipe in first game, so... I mean, they need an answer to Volcanic Dragon. Just chumping it for 1 turn isn't going to be a great answer, because obviously Sky Scanner, it's not like they have a ton of tiny flyers. It's not like they're playing the blue-white flyers deck that will have a lot of chump blockers, but either way, it's not a great option for them. Probably would have okay, so with Spark-Tongue Dragon in hand, now they can actually double block. But I'm just going to go ahead and Banefire them. I'm not, like, particularly close. Let's see, I've got 6. Sorry, I had to figure out the mechanics of how Banefire works. But yeah, I wasn't particularly close to killing them. Like, I could dwindle this and then attack, but then they have 2 more chump blocks, so like that would make the game go on for a long time. So I don't really want to make that sort of play. Okay. Anyway, let's see. I think I still want to try and be aggressive. Maybe like Ghost Form is a real card in this deck, instead of like, I don't know, like a Divination or something. But I mean, this basically just ends up being a Lava Axe. My opponent hasn't shown me much instant speed removal. I really don't like that plan. It's not like I have that many high power creatures. Like, it could very well just get me in like 4 damage or something like that. But if I have Siegebreaker Giant, then that looks so good. I don't think I have enough creatures to make that plan viable. Alright, sorry Ghost Form. Maybe this is a card that could be in this deck, but I don't think this is the right version of it. I think if I had like 3 Onaki Ogres and like it could actually get me an 8 damage pretty reasonably, then maybe that would be something that I could consider, but I don't think that I have the right creature base to make that good. Alright, so this is going to be the last game for today. Hopefully we'll walk away with a win so that I get to play the same deck tomorrow, but I wouldn't feel bad about losing to my opponent. They have a sweet deck. That is absolutely true. Alright, I think I'm going to keep... If I draw a mountain on turn 1 or 2, then this hand is really good. If not, then I could be in big trouble. But I think that the upside is worth keeping. I probably keep too many hands in Magic in general, but I think that this one is a good keep. I think I have 9 mountains and 8 islands, which makes this a little bit better of a keep than another option. But I don't know, sometimes you get rewarded even if it wasn't a great choice, but yeah, it's awesome. It's really awesome to see. Onaki Ogre is going to help. Let's see. Hopefully they don't have a play here, but if they do... Okay, Bogart Brute is a really good one, because that's like a much more aggressive creature for them. And I really doubt they'll make this trade. Wow. Okay, so that's a really disciplined trade there. I'm not sure if that's the right play or not. It might be, because they've sort of seen that they have a better late game, and they might have some of their good late game cards in hand, so just trading for that extra 2 damage is really good for them. It's certainly a possibility. Here... I think that I just Tormenting Voice, get rid of the land, and then hope to draw one and disperse that, if not just pass. This sucks. Like, if I had... I don't want to discard Frilled Sea Serpent. Maybe I should, just to guarantee the... No, I can't do that. I have to do this. Well, yeah, I have to do this. This is the only way that I can actually use all my mana. Drawing Gutter Snipe makes me like this plan a little bit less, because I'd rather get the extra 2 damage off of it, but I get to push a lot of damage through this turn. Anyway, sorry. It's hard for me to explain the reason why I had to do it that way, but I needed to use my mana this turn, and that was the only way that I can actually do it, is if I Tormenting Voiced and Dispersed. And in a matchup where I know that my opponent has a much better late game, and I have a 4-2 on board, I really want to get this going early. So, okay, hopefully I draw a land here. No land. So I'm just going to go ahead and drop Gutter Snipe and pass the turn. If I drew a land, then I could have played Gutter Snipe and Sure Strike, but without that, I'm just going to have to pass, and I'll be able to attack next turn with Sure Strike, but I just want to make sure that I can actually use it to my advantage. Havoc Devils, sure. Okay, so they've got 2 mana up, which makes me a little bit nervous that they might have like a Lightning Strike, which makes the whole just like attack and plan to use Sure Strike plan a lot worse. But I think that this is still the move here. Alright. Like, they did show me a lightning strike. No, they didn't show me lightning strike. That was a different opponent. Never mind. I can't really just assume that they have lightning strike or something here. I mean, drawing all of these good cards, like all of these cards, maybe I don't have to. Alright, yeah, I'm not gonna attack with the gutter snipe. I'm not gonna like play into a lightning strike or anything like that. I'm gonna let them trade. Although I guess I didn't even draw the shoe strike, so that was never an option. But yeah, I mean, I have, like, the board's not stable, but I could stabilize it whenever I need to. I have a dwindle in hand. I have a sure strike that I can use to block. Sky Scanner is fine. Like, that's a perfectly, like, anemic card, I guess. Where, like, if their plan this game is just to use, like, just to beat me down with Sky Scanner, then I'm going to be able to beat that strategy. Okay. Okay, so I drew a land here. So what are my options? I should probably dwindle something this turn, but maybe I don't need to because I'm gonna attack in and sure strike. If they block, they probably will. If they don't block, then I can't quite kill them, but I can get pretty close. I could do 7. I could get them to 1 if I needed to. And then so either way, if they don't block, well, they did block. It doesn't matter. If they don't block, then I can just dwindle one of their creatures and still play the Pyromancer. Okay, deal some damage. Okay, now I can still Pyromancer. Maybe I don't Pyromancer. Maybe I just dwindle this. Because Pyromancer just gets them to hold back with Sky Scanner, so that's not great. Okay, yeah, let's dwindle this. Doesn't trigger the Gutter Snipe, but that's okay. I actually have, like, if I draw 1 land, then let's see, this is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 damage in hand. That really is kind of insane. It's a lot of mana. I guess it's only 4. 5. Okay, ooh, and they have Spark Tongue Dragon to kill my Gutter Snipe here. That's a big deal. Gutter Snipe I was really leaning on that to win me this game. Not sure where we go from here. I have a couple of turns to figure out a solution, but not too many. I think here I'm going to go ahead and drop the Sea Serpent, just start getting some damage through. I'm not like super close to killing them because they have this, but to just chump block. Alright, well I could kill the Rocks Oracle with a shock, or I guess with a Pyromancer block. So it's not a huge concern, but they will kill me in a couple of turns here. And I don't, if I had an immediate answer to the Spark Tongue Dragon, then I would probably just try and play a longer game here. My opponent's basically out of resources and I have the board stabilized on the ground, but I don't really have an answer to that, so I need to take a more aggressive approach. Alright, there we go. That's pretty good. So now I can dwindle this. And I still have shock, so if they do make an attack, then I can shock the Rocks Oracle. I can block like the Giant Spider and shock the Oracle, especially if they go for like a Titanic Growth for the win or something like that. Although I guess Yeah, I guess if they do attack, then I have to respect Titanic Growth, and okay, they're not going to attack. I have to respect Titanic Growth, block the Giant Spider, and then hope that they Titanic Growth one of these creatures, but it doesn't look like that's coming up. Okay. I think I let the Sky Scanner punch in for some damage instead of shocking it. I mean, this honestly could be a plan. Like, I have them dead in 2 hits with the Sea Serpent. It's too bad that I actually don't have enough mana to give this guy unblockable this turn. It doesn't do me too much good to trade, or to, sorry, not trade, but like just bounce off of the Bristling Boar, or like have them use the Bristling Boar as a as just a chump. I don't know why I can't talk, but maybe I should kill the Sky Scanner. No, probably not. I would probably kill the Sky Scanner if Rock's Oracle wasn't a threat as well. I guess Pyromancer trades Rock's Oracle. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana. Yeah, I mean, we'll see what they do this turn, but I think that there's a pretty good chance that I just go for the win. Okay, so yeah, I do need to shock the Sky Scanner here, and then hope that they just don't draw anything. I think that really is my best bet to win this one. Just basically, because like, they don't have me dead on board here. They've only got 1 card in hand. If they had a removal spell, they would use it on the Frilled Sea Serpent. If they have like a cheap removal spell or a pump spell, then this might not work. Man, but now I draw Electrify, which makes me want to make the game go longer. Okay, I'll play this land out. It just makes me less desperate, so I think that, yeah, I think that I just give it one more shot and hope that they brick next turn on anything relevant, and or if they don't brick on anything relevant, then I can just Electrify what they play, hopefully, as long as it's not a Laughless, and then do the same sort of test next turn. So yeah, I think that this is a good, like, this is a little bit of a safer play, and if they just brick for one more turn, then I basically win the game. Okay. And also, if I draw like a Pyromancer or something like that, then that gives me some good options. Alright. I will kill this here. That, or should I just kill that? Yeah, I should just kill that. That way, I'm not dead to like a cheap removal spell. Like a Rabid Bite or something like that. I mean, it would make no sense for them to have had something there. Sigiled Sword. Oh, that's a great draw. They only have 5 power here, so I can Sigiled Sword up my my Frilled Sea Serpent. I guess that's another reason. Well, I guess I don't need to... Yeah, I do need to do the Sea Serpent, because this is giving vigilance. But yeah, I can... No, there's no reason to attack with the Pyromancer. So yeah, this is... I don't know, maybe this is still worse than my other plan, because they're still going to be able to chump block here. I'm going to be able to make it unblockable next turn, but like, I'm still dead to Laughless. I don't know. This is potentially not as good of a draw as I was hoping. I think it's still better to go with this plan then, because like this plan is so much better. I don't know. I mean, maybe there's like no cards that this is better against. I guess it's better because like if they have a removal spell for the Sea Serpent, then that doesn't help me. They were just going to be able to kill the sea. They'll just be able to kill the Sea Serpent and still kill me. I don't know. It's possible that I should have still just gone for it and although maybe now, no, I don't want to re-equip because I want. Maybe I should have equipped it to the Pyromancer and attacked with both. They could have just chump blocked there, still hit me for no. I don't know. I have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, so if I had 10 mana, then I probably would have moved over the sword. Colossal Dreadmaw, you say? Okay. It's a big creature. So it still doesn't put me dead, but it does force me to chump with, or not chump, but trade with the Sea Serpent if they make a big attack. Okay, so here's a plan. Use this. And then maybe post-combat. No, I don't want to post-combat re-equip. Okay, so that makes the Sea Serpent unblockable. And then, as long as they don't draw anything here, they're gonna have to make, like, I don't know. Yeah, if they make a big attack with everything, then I can just kill them on the crackback with the Pyromancer plus the Knight. So if they brick next turn, then I still win. Man, this was a crazy game. Be a very strange block to block with the Knight. Or to block the Spark Tongue. Like, you may as well just eat my guy. Because otherwise he's going to be able to chump block next turn. I think it's worth playing the land out. Maybe not. What am I going to do with 11 mana instead of 10? Okay, so we'll see. I mean, yeah, because if they just attack with like the Dreadmaw and the Spider, then I can just chump here and eat that, and I mean, like, I'm dead to a pump spell anyway. I guess I'm not dead to... Yeah, I'm dead to a pump spell. If they just attack with that, then I can just throw the Pyromancer in front. So they sort of have to make an all-out attack, but then they have to have another creature in their hand. Otherwise, they're dead on the crackback. Okay, so this is probably their best option to win this game. But it's also, yeah, I mean, because this is a forced block here. If I just block there, then I'll still take 5, and I have no options. But I think I need to keep the Pyromancer around, take the 5, and then hope that they don't have anything. And if they do have something, then hope to draw a creature on my end. Alright, well, they drew Thornhide Wolves. That's very, very bad for me. I need, like, a Volcanic Dragon! Yes! Oh, man, what a great draw here. That is perfect. Because, yeah, so I can give it, Vigilance here. The Vigilance doesn't really matter, but basically the haste creature is super clutch. So I mean, I had a few winning draws in my deck there, but not very many. I mean, did I play the... yeah, I already played the other Pyromancer. So I needed like a disperse or an exclusion. Oh, they had a plummet! Oh my god, why is plummet in their deck? Did they even see Volcanic Dragon? Oh man! I can't believe I lost that one. I really thought I had it. Wow. I mean, they've been holding that card forever, but did they even see me play a target for plummet? I mean, I guess you bring it in the dark just because... that is brutal. I guess the plan was to go for a... not use the sword. That would have won me that one. Oh, really brutal match. Wow. What a great match. That was so good. That ending obviously did not go in my favor, but that was awesome. That was as clutch as it gets, and they're just looking at that plummet like, yeah, I got him. Oh, brutal. Yeah, and I mean, it wouldn't have mattered. Equipping the sword to the Pyromancer wouldn't matter because they still get to block one of the dudes with the other guy with the Dwindle. So yeah, that's definitely rough. That's a bad way to go. I don't think that my deck was particularly good. I think that it's like pretty reasonable for me to lose and only win 2 matches, but definitely wish that that went a little bit differently. Ooh, I got a rare wild card. That's the best rare that you can open. For those of you who are freaking out that I'm just like opening packs, oh wow, that's the best possible thing to open. You can't use them to draft, so you just open them to get more playables. Yeah, what else could I have done differently? Yeah, I mean, if I had been more aggressive and just like gone for the win with the Sea Serpent, then I would have had it, but I think that it was the right call. I don't know. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think. I would be pretty interested to sort of see where your thought process was. I opened pretty amazingly well for packs, by the way, but whatever. I don't really care because I don't actually play Constructed. Anyway, disappointing end to what was a pretty fun draft, if not a great one. Not like a huge surprise that deck went 2-2 after like looking at it for a little bit. I definitely can see where it came from. Man, now that I'm thinking about it, maybe I did have a lot of outs because I had just another Disperse, I had an Exclusion Mage, I had Banefire. What else did I have in that deck? Maybe like Tormenting Voice is like a redraw, another Divination. Oh no, I think I used all my Divinations already. I used my Pyromancers. Alright, so I had like 3 or 4 outs to it. No, they're haste creatures, I don't think. I mean, any top-decked creature that didn't fly would have bought me another turn, but them having Thornhide Wolves plus Plummet is like a pretty specific combination of cards. But yeah, Plummet. I must have played Volcanic Dragon in the previous game. Because otherwise, I guess the reason to bring in Plummet when you're playing against the blue-red spells deck is because of Enigma Drake. That's the blue-red uncommon that it's basically a 0/4 or a star 4, but it gets +1/+0 for each instant and sorcery that you have in your graveyard. So that's sort of like the best reason to be a blue-red spells deck. So I could definitely see my opponents just being like, all right, well, I'm playing against blue-red. They're going to have at least a Snapping Drake or a Spark-Tongue Dragon or something like that. And then if I can kill an Enigma Drake with it, then that'll be ideal. So yeah, I think in the end it probably is the right call. Didn't work out well for me. Although, like, honestly, if they had played like a 3/3 for 3 7 turns ago, then they would have won the game too. So it's not like Plummet really beat me. It's just the fact that the card that they had in their hand was a relevant card and not a land that beat me. But I mean, it's hard to feel bad about losing such an exciting match like that. So I really appreciate you guys watching, and have a wonderful day. Bye. Hey guys, here for a little post-video recap slash update thing. So obviously you can see I'm wearing a different shirt again, so this is my third time recording to put this video together. And I think that really illustrates the reasons why I haven't been posting too much in the last 2 years or so. It's just that I end up being pretty busy. But more recently I found myself with a little bit of time, so I can sort of compile a video if I do it a few segments at a time, I suppose. But anyway, I just wanted to add a little bit to the end of this video because I thought that the ending was so incredible and so fun, and I think it's pretty cool that you actually get to see my face and my reaction. You can normally hear it in my voice, but just being able to literally see my face, my hands go up, and how excited I got at the end with that volcanic dragon, and then the heartbroken face when they played that plummet there. That was really fun and really funny. So I wanted to do that. I also wanted to quickly touch on Arena. I hope you guys enjoyed the Arena video. I want to start making some more of these because I did really have fun with it. I think that it's a little bit different because the pace of play is a lot faster. You do not have as much time to think about it, which makes it a lot harder to commentate, I think. There were many times throughout this video where I got on a topic and then just completely had to abandon it because I had to think about what was going on with the next play. And that's definitely something that's always happened to me, but I think will happen even more when playing on Arena. So I guess I wanted to thank you for bearing with me and apologize for any of those times. If there was something that you were so interested in how I was going to finish it, then feel free to leave that in the comment section and I'll be glad to answer it up. Thank you guys to all of you who've been commenting. It's really great to get support. I'm having fun making these videos, and if you guys are having fun watching them, then I'll keep making them. I'm really enjoying it, and I love any of the comments that I get to read. I always reply to the comments, so feel free to leave something there if you had any questions on the gameplay, if you just want to say that I'm terrible at Magic, literally whatever you want to say. I'm really happy, and I'm always willing to answer it. I had a really interesting conversation with one user about Gear Guide, which was a card that I had not evaluated too highly, but he had a much higher view of it. So I think that it made me think about the card differently and how it fits into the format, and it was a really productive conversation. So yeah, I mean, anything like that I'm happy to listen to and happy to take your opinions on. Past that, I did want to leave you with one more thing because I don't tend to love the whole anti-spoiler thing of just like a really long blank page at the end. So I'll just leave you with a riddle. I'll just post it up afterwards. This is a riddle that I heard a long time ago, and I'm sure a lot of you have heard too, but I think riddles are so fun, and this one is sort of what I consider to be like an introductory riddle, where definitely a lot of people get it, but it takes a lot of thinking, and you really have to think outside the box. Yeah, I'll show that on the anti-spoiler screen that I'm going to leave after this. Thank you guys so much for watching again. I really appreciate it, and yeah, give me any feedback that you have. And definitely try and answer the riddle in the bottom if you can. So thanks for watching again. Have a wonderful day. Bye.